Okay, this is part 2 on the character trait that God needs to be just. The first part was questioning and challenging you on whether you're a just person, because I was making the point and the accusation and the contention and the appeal that if you think God is unfair, you're not a just person yourself. You don't understand justice. So the second video in this series on God needs to be just is, well, how can you be a good judge? Because a just person is a good judge. That's a serious subject. So when my mind scans the culture, my mind scans the Bible, my mind scans Islam, it's like a court of law where somebody's charged with a crime, justly or unjustly, right or wrong, falsely accused or correctly accused, and they bring it before a jury, and the jury takes time to deliberate. Takes time. Deliberate means you take time. You don't judge quickly. You don't conclude quickly. You look at everything, and you're guided by the judge, the righteous one, on how to make decisions. What is fact? What is opinion? Opinion isn't fact. Opinion means guessing. And so then there's the law. They say follow the law. Make your decisions based on the law and facts, not opinion. So it takes time. Being a good judge, being just, takes time. It takes somebody willing to think and not jump to conclusions. If you're constantly jumping to conclusions without all the information, you're not just. You're not a good judge. You don't know how to be a good judge. A good judge typically will not respond, will not conclude. They will, if they say anything, I don't have enough information to make a decision about that. Or I'm not your judge. Sometimes people would come up to Jesus and say, tell my brother to divide the inheritance. What did he say? Sure, whatever you want. No, he said, who made me your judge? And then he talks about wanting money. You know, that it's not a good habit to really put money as number one in your life. It needs to be number 2 so you can pursue character. Specifically, justness. Because in the gospel it says, don't worry about your food. Don't worry about your clothing. God knows you need this stuff. He will help you get it. But first, seek out what's just and other things, another thing. But number 1, figure out what's right. Figure out what's just. Be a good judge. Every day, make that your priority. Not to misjudge somebody, not to jump to conclusions, not to falsely accuse somebody, not to say anything if you don't have all the facts that you need to conclude. So how do you be a good judge? You need to wait. You need to weigh it out. Take time. You know, courts in America, they take time. We don't like it. We want them to put justice quick. But justice needs to be slow. If you haven't figured out God, if you correctly understand the context in which his judgments are put in the Old Testament, because it says in the New Covenant that those things, those punishments were written to teach us not to crave evil. God was dealing with evil. He was dealing with people that would put their babies in their walls of their house to kill them, to give them good luck. That was the culture. That's one of the reasons I'm unaware of. You can double check me on this. Why he destroyed people in the promised land. He put up with them for 200 years or more. He's patient. He's slow to judge sometimes. Sometimes he's quick. It depends on the context. But he took hundreds of years to judge that groups of people. They were just utterly wicked. And in the days of Noah, it was the same problem. People were evil. I mean, the worst kinds of crimes against each other. Treacherous. I mean, nasty people. So he did away with them. But it took 100 plus years. He didn't judge them. My point is, not to question God's judgments, but to understand and observe, justice takes time. A good judge is not fast. Although, if we need justice, God will give it to us speedily sometimes. There's that idea too in the gospel. If we need him in certain circumstances, if we really love him, he will respond quickly and help us even eternally with conflict. All right? But overall and in general and even specifically, if you're a good judge, how to be a good judge, you need to be patient, which is another great character trait. God is extremely patient. He can wait even hundreds of years before he decides whether a nation is worthy or not, whether they're improving themselves or getting worse. It says in the gospel that men will grow from bad to worse. We're not getting better as people in general, overall. We're not getting any better as a culture. We're not advancing in good character. We're becoming more corrupt. Men will go from bad to worse. All right? Is that what you want for your relationships? They'll start off bad and they're going to get worse. It's nasty. It's chaotic. So how to be a good judge? One point is take your time. Slow down. Don't cut people off in their conversations. Don't jump to conclusions. Be a better listener. You're not God, so you don't know all the facts. You don't know motives. Figure out the motive. Motives are hidden. What is a motive? It's the character, good or bad, behind somebody's actions or inactions. All right? If you understand that, then you're going to find out whether the reason, the character trait is good or bad. You need to be deliberate, to take your time, slow down, ask questions, look at evidence. Don't just listen to words. Look at physical evidence, of things. It's kind of like in the Old Covenant. It said, don't conclude unless there's two or three witnesses to a matter, because people lie. They can just make it up. You need witnesses. Sometimes you can't conclude because you don't have enough witnesses. So think about slowing it down and looking at every weight in the bag. Do you understand what that means? Weigh it out. Is this heavy or is this small matter? Is it light? You need to do that. Good judges are very deliberate. So if you're misjudging God, you're not a just person. You don't know how to judge. You're not a good judge. I wouldn't want you on a jury in a crime scene. Wouldn't want you. If you don't understand the difference between truth and opinion, I wouldn't want you on a jury or be a judge. Opinion means guessing. It's to be not admitted, not considered to make a conclusion. All right? So that's my appeal to you. There's so many things about being a good judge, how to be a good judge. Think about it.